Welcome to the Trail Chasers Podcast.
This episode is presented by Nexen Tire. If you're looking for some improved on- and off-road performance, go to NexenTireUSA.com and step up your wheeling game with a set of Roadian MTXs.
Today on the show, we talk to Trail Medic. He lectures Cody about how to legally maim and scar randoms while out on the trail. Pretty sick stuff, really. And we also talk about hot dog broth. This episode brought to you by Hot Dog Broth Tequila. Delicious.
When the casing turns blue, the beast comes out. Hot dog tequila.
Not even going to touch it.
It's time for the Trail Chasers Podcast. Are you ready? Let's begin.
Trail Chaser, you're out there to chase your adventure. Trail Chaser, our time is now.
Get out there and chase your adventure. Get out there and chase your adventure. Get out there and chase your adventure. Get out there and chase your adventure.
All right. Hey, everybody. We have Joe K., the Trail Medic, in the studio for the third time because we're having all kinds of issues with our live stream. For those of you that are trying to catch it on Instagram, we have an audio issues. Sounds like YouTube is going well. We couldn't get Facebook to work, so we're going to start it over because I think Joe's mic might have been off.
When we redid the studio, we were more concerned with looks than audio quality, obviously.
Well, no, it worked fine last week. I wonder if the wireless mic that we have you on is causing some problems. I don't know. But
What do you know?
nothing. I'm making all of this up as we go. So Joe, he was here last time and talked about first aid kits and stuff, which was great. And today he's going to give us some insight on Good Samaritan laws and some of those topics. So Joe, first, welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
I know you've been here for a while, eating some pizza, watching us fumble our way through trying to make the audio work. But let's run through. You've got a really cool outline of all this stuff. So let's start all over again with con ganas, with vigor. We're ready to go again.
Yay.
Better, much better.
All right. So the Good Samaritan Law, it provides protection for do-gooders when they decide to step forward and help somebody who's in a time of need. So what it basically says is if you act in the best interest of the person and you work within your training level and you're not doing it for compensation,
Okay.
that it does protect you as long as you take the right steps in legal action, it will protect you.
So the compensation piece, you mean, so if I'm not a professional healthcare provider or emergency medical provider, that's what you're talking about, right? Like the Good Samaritan Law protects me as a non-EMT. Does it also protect an EMT?
It protects me when I'm on the trail with our crew and we stop and help.
Yeah.
As long as I'm like, hey, you need to pay me for my services.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So and when I'm acting as just a do-gooder, I'm protected. When I'm on duty on the ambulance, the conditions change a little bit.
That's where I was trying to get to.
That's
It's like,
more like a company insurance issue.
Well,
thing?
then at that point, there's company or agency insurance, but it's also there's a duty to act. When we're on duty, we're in uniform, we're on our trucks, we are expected to respond.
No matter what, right?
No matter what.
Yeah.
So if we saw something going on the trail, I have the option to drive right past it.
Huh.
I could never do that. My soul wouldn't let me, but
Cody could.
I disagree with that. I know I'm soulless in most cases, but I disagree with that.
Cody causes more accidents.
Hey, you're on the casting couch. You're on the bench. I don't need it from you.
Oh, no, I'm still here.
I shouldn't have hooked up that wireless mic. I swear that was a bad idea.
I'll sit in Joe's lap to get in on this stuff.
well, I've seen Cody stop and back up and get the winch out to save my butt once. So
Yeah, once. See, I did it.
he had the opportunity to leave.
So with that Good Samaritan Law, it protects those that are doing good, not trying to get compensated, just out of the kindness of their heart. So if something goes horribly wrong, you could say, "Hey, man, I was doing my best to help out." You mentioned in that up to your training level. What if I've got no training? What if I'm just like Jose? And I don't know anything, and I roll up on
true facts,
and I roll up on something, and I'm just trying to pull someone out of a burning car.
Well, it it would apply in that situation too. So it's when you're acting in good faith and you're not trying to do anything that would hurt the person. If you believe that it's a life-threatening situation and you need to remove the person from the vehicle.
What if, I'm sorry, but they're burning and they're on fire. They're pinned somehow and they're stuck. They are on fire. They're sizzling, but you got to cut their arm off to get them out. What do I do?
Are you trained?
I'm being serious.
He knows he knows how to use a sawzall.
Well,
he's trained in sawzall skills.
First of all, I have a pocket knife, and it's sharp. I sharpen
it's
it
going
on a
to
regular.
it's going to take a while to cut through that arm.
27 hours.
With a pocket knife.
It's gonna take 27 hours.
This is serious.
It's-
You just in a honest way, like you have to maim somebody in order to save them. Are you legally like at risk?
Well, you're trying to save their life. So there's a dangerous circumstance. In all reality, you're not going to have time to cut their arm off when they're on fire and the vehicle's on fire. Right? You're not going to have that kind of time. Unless you're
I'm in my work truck.
unless you're
I have my
Casey
cordless
and you bust out your
bandsaw
tools and
ready to go.
Yeah.
so I mean you also have to
10
consider
seconds.
So our next episode, I'm intending to talk about scene safety, and the car on fire presents a safety issue for the rescuer. So that's another avenue to pursue, but you got to deal with what you have, and if it's life threatening and you had to cut their arm off, I mean, it's a rabbit hole kind of a question, but you want to do what you can to get them out.
What if you don't like the person?
You don't have to stop.
Yeah, then you just drive by, man.
What if you don't like them and you see an opportunity where you can use power tools?
Wait a minute. So
This is your dream scenario, Cody.
This is my nightmare.
So this is I get wrecked and I'm pinned in my truck and
Yes, go on.
Matt's
that
like
sounds good.
perfect opportunity to get Cody back for that arm cutting off story.
You talked about me
And
waking
you're-
up
yeah.
out of like concussed.
And so you're just looking
and you
for an
were cutting
opportunity.
my limbs off
You're
2
looking
weeks
for an
ago.
opportunity to cut me up. That's some messed up stuff, dude. I was
It's
providing
called karma.
I know.
It's
it
called
is.
street karma.
So
Trail karma.
so what kind of considerations does someone have to take if they do roll up into that scene? So they roll up on a trail and there's a tipped over vehicle and the people inside are pretty messed up. Like what if I know that the Good Samaritan law is on my side, what do I do next? Like how do I approach that situation?
Well, the first thing you have to do is we have to look at how safe it is for us to approach. We have to size that up and determine, is the vehicle stable? Is it unstable? What condition are the people on the inside in? There's a very kind of a complex with a rolled over vehicle. That's a complex assessment that has to be made. And if you are approaching that kind of vehicle, you have to think about how do I make it safe?
Yeah, how do you not hurt yourself? How do you don't put yourself in a position where now you're going to be another victim?
The fundamental first step of approaching a scene, in addition to taking care of yourself as far as like your protective equipment, is making sure the scene is safe. And if I can't make it safe myself, then who do I call to come in and make that safe? Now, when we're on the trail, it can vary from we have 911 resources that are within 30 minutes in some cases. And you think about Cleghorn,
Yeah.
and there's a fire station not too far on both ends. That's a pretty good place in that area. But we get further out.
Mojave.
Resources
Yeah, you're in
are-
Mojave. You're 4 hours from anybody getting anywhere.
So being able to, sometimes it's just shore it up, wait
I mean,
for
like
professional.
Barstow's even the closest.
Yeah.
And good God, you got to be in pretty rough shape. I got to get to Barstow.
Sometimes you have
Think
to
about that.
You have to wait for those professional resources to come in to take care of the situation. But other times you may not have the time. So this is where having the right training comes in to ensure you don't get yourself hurt. Then we need more resources to come in and take care of you. So sizing the scene up is an important piece, and it's like too complex for us to go over.
Yeah. But I'm picturing a scenario. You got, a vehicle rolled over on a fairly flat surface that's stable. Okay, you can get someone out. You got a vehicle rolled over and it's teetering. Then, okay, you got to pull a vehicle around one side, hook the winch up to it so it's not going to go anywhere, and then try to get people out or, something like that, right? I mean,
absolutely. You want to take the resources you have at hand. I mean, in our group, we've got 2 winches. right? And then we'll also want to put some blocks or rocks or things like that to shore the vehicle to keep it from continuing to move. We also want to see what kind of condition our patients are in, because if it's not life threatening, and they happen to be sitting upside down, suspended by their seatbelts. Okay, just sit tight. Let's make sure you're okay. A head, neck, back, spine injuries, those can present some lifelong challenges if they're handled incorrectly. So we have to be very careful about that.
That's a really good point, because I think most people, adrenaline kicks in. Oh, we got to get them out of the vehicle. We got to, hurry up. But if they're not in any pain and there's no fire and there's no gas spilling out or no threat, let everything settle down, and then take the time to do an assessment to make sure you got the right plan in place.
Yeah, let's make sure the car is turned off. Right?
Good point.
Let's make sure it's shored up. There's a lot to that. So we want to make sure it's safe before we start to help. So that's a key component there. So as long as we're, like I said, acting in good faith and we're staying within our training. So as an EMT, I have a scope of training. I have certain protocols and rules that I have to work within. A paramedic uses IVs and advanced airways. So if I were to grab an advanced airway and try and insert that on a patient while we're out on the trail, I'm outside of my scope of practice. Even though I'm acting in good faith, I'm outside of my scope of practice, which puts me at liability for anything that goes wrong there. And I could be in trouble for anything, even though it goes right.
And at that point, I would think a judge would say, that you don't know how to use that tool. You shouldn't have done it. Right. Whereas if I happen to have one and I tried, I don't have any training, and just you'd stick the tube in. Right. I wouldn't know any difference. What about consent? Like Good Samaritan says that if I'm acting in good faith, I'm good. But do you have to ask for consent in order to get for that Good Samaritan law to kick in?
Absolutely. We have to ask for consent. If a person is alert, they're aware of their surroundings, or making eye contact with you, before you do anything, you should ask. You should introduce yourself. Hey, my name's Joe. And in my case, hey, my name's Joe. I'm an EMT. Can I help? Okay. And if they say no, pound sand, kick rocks, leave me alone. Okay. As long as I'm going to ask them a couple of questions first to make sure that I know that they can make a competent decision. And as long as they can answer who they are, where they are, and like the time of day, then the law says in my case that they can make decisions informed and they can refuse treatment. If they're altered or unresponsive, then we kick into what we call implied consent. Yeah. So the first is, if I ask, can I help? And you say yes, now it's expressed. Okay. They've verbally or
they've given your permission.
I was going to ask.
What if it's? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What if this is like that episode of Star Trek where that guy, all he could do, he was like in a future space wheelchair, and his face is all mangled and it was melted, and he couldn't talk or nothing. It was really sad because it made you think, damn, there's still crippled people in the future. But all he could do, he just had a light on his chest, and it would just blink once for no and twice for yes. Could you let's just say blinking. Could you say blink twice for me to save you? Blink once for me to leave you alone.
Does that count as consent?
Does that count?
Like
consent?
If he really say for some reason they were non-vocal and they couldn't move. If you asked them a question like, "Hey, can I help? Do you consent to me helping you?" and they blink once for yes.
As long as I get an affirmative response.
Okay, so what about? Let me ask. Don't worry about it. We do it all the time. We bang these things.
I didn't answer my question.
Oh, he did. He said he did. As long as it's an affirmative response.
No, but I was going off of that.
Oh, you asked your question then.
Oh no, but so I was going to say, what if they deny your help? But since you are a trained professional, like as an EMT, like you're supposed to, like, does that? Do you have to help them because you are, like that's your job?
In a professional setting?
So no, if we're on the trail, even though they said no, like, do you still have an obligation as an EMT because you're trained? Like, do you have to help them?
I don't have an obligation to provide care in this case.
Okay.
So since I don't have an obligation, I still in my DNA, I'm going to stop and help.
Yeah.
So when I offer that assistance and they decline it, that's okay. And the good thing is I'm going to have witnesses, right?
Oh yeah, he said yeah. He said yeah.
My crew,
Yeah, exactly.
the guys I expect to be on my team.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna say like, yeah, that guy said he wanted us to help him.
So what
Got
about
your back, bro.
What about in an instance, it's President's Day weekend in Glamis, and there's only 3 people in Glamis that are sober, and you roll up onto a sandrail that's flipped over, clearly they're crap faced and
Or what if they're all knocked
What's
out?
crap face?
they're shit faced, and I'm
if
trying to
they're all
be
knocked out?
You guys ruin it. I try to be nice, or they're knocked. No, I'm just saying. The knocked out piece, that's the implied consent, right? If you would expect that they'd say yes. But what if they're drunk and they're combative? No, I don't want you because they don't want to get in trouble. They don't,
Man,
whatever.
That's our old crew.
Well, that's
We used
why
to
I'm
roll
asking
with.
this question because I've been in situations. I've been in situations where the person driving
one
is
weekend a year.
yeah,
like,
completely shit faced. And dude, sit down,
who's
you're
gonna be
okay.
this
And they're
year?
fighting it. No, I'm fine. Just pick everything up. And then you're like, no, dude, you're bleeding from your head.
Dude, your
Sit
knees
down.
bending
Yeah.
backward.
So
It's
what
supposed to bend
about
that way.
good?
What about in that situation where clearly the person is not in their right head and you need to do something to save them, but they're fighting it? As a Samaritan, as an EMT, it's different, but as a Samaritan, what do we do?
So at the same time, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to offer my help, ask for consent. And if they tell me no, then I step back and I wait until they fall over and they're unresponsive. And now I help.
Now
under
you have implied
consent.
consent. Okay, that makes sense.
But that's a very tricky situation. Hopefully they'll have people with them that would help convince them. Hey, you know what? You need to stop. You need to sit down. Let them help you. We get resources. Try to get resources on the way. And I know that there's extended ETAs in those areas, but I'm not going to go to blows.
Yeah.
To try and help somebody.
Yeah.
So that's a very very slippery slope. And to be honest, that's why I stay home at those times.
Yeah, no, that's why we stopped going President's Day weekend.
This makes it so difficult because it's like it's a case by case basis, right? Like you have to,
for sure.
And you have to make so many. You have to like do all this. You have to get consent and then analyze the situation like in seconds. Like you have to do this super fast and then react because sometimes you only have a few seconds before the time is come and gone before you can do anything.
This conversation right now, this is day 1 of an EMT class. When we hit that legal and ethical portion of the class, and it's at the very, very beginning, and we have all these what if kind of questions, and it's you just have to apply the principles that we use and try and make the best decision you can. And in the off-duty world, we do the best we can, and hopefully we can make a positive impact.
So by taking this class, are we trained professionals?
Yeah,
now?
we are now. Anybody that needs CPR, Matt and Jose and I are ready to do that.
We have an unorthodox method.
Not even close.
Pants down resuscitation.
Somehow, Matt, please explain the pants down resuscitation. I don't understand.
I can't do it right now. It takes a good 3 or 4 hours of
Drinking.
drinking.
I don't remember how
and
they.
then it'll come back to me.
So let's be clear. All the views and points made by the Trail Chaser team don't all reflect the accurate legal ideas of trail medic.
So the intent of the Good Samaritan law. So let's say you come up onto a non-critical situation where a guy's got a gash in his arm and he's bleeding, and you happen to have a good first aid kit and you help flush the wound and bandage it and put a splint on it, and then 3 months later. You get a letter from a lawyer saying you're getting sued because he got gangrene in his arm and they had to amputate it, and it's your fault because you treated him on the trail, right? That the Good Samaritan law protects you from that kind of stuff, right?
It does. In order to prove that, in order to nail or try and to get some sort of judgment out of that kind of case, the person has to prove a lot of things, and one of them would be that the person who provided care did something negligent, right? And that they did something out of their scope, and that they did something. There's a lot of things that
Would it have to be intentionally negligent or just negligent out of ignorance?
Well, a negligence can be either an act of commission, something you did, or something you didn't do.
Okay.
So it can go either way, but it's that's where it's important to stay within your training and within your scope of practice to ensure that you don't do things that put you at risk. But as there's no intent, there's no malice. I was trying to help. I used, we were in an austere environment. I used the best resources I had at the time. And if I didn't take action, he would have bled out and died.
Yeah. So is there anything we should do as the person providing the help? Like, should we film, ask them for consent and get, the video of it? Can I help you? Yes. And then like film what you're doing and then get their name and number and all that stuff and file some kind of report just to have backup? Or is that just way too much?
I would think you'd want no evidence of what you did to that.
Depends
if
on
I
what
were
you're
you,
doing.
Cody, if I were you, no evidence.
That's a very tricky idea to record it. I would step back and take notes on what did I do, what did I use, what did I find, just for my own record, in case I was called upon. If it was something where we had two vehicles that collided and they were on a highway and we were trying to do stuff, after the dust settles, I'm going to try and make some notes about what I saw, what I did,
a
how
field
they
report.
responded.
Yeah.
Kind of to be similar to what we would do on duty, just so I can remember what, in case I'm asked later.
Yeah.
So, but it's not a requirement. First aid, providing first aid at the scene of an emergency as a bystander, that's not a requirement for that.
Okay. That's good. Yeah, I think the group that we hang out with, if we came across an incident on the trail or on the street or whatever, I think every one of us would want to pull over and help out, and I think that's part of the community, right? The off-road community does that. They help each other out. They take care of people. Anything else on the Good Samaritan stuff?
No, I think that's pretty much it. It's it's act within your level of training and do what's in the best interest of the patient. And then the minimum thing we should do when we find an emergency is to call for help.
Okay.
We've talked about the different avenues, and I think we'll do another segment on that down the road.
Yeah, we should do a whole segment on, you call 911, but I don't have a cell signal. Okay, then what's the next cascading? How do you get all the way up to sat phone or something? What are the different?
I was going to say, is there technologies like that?
Oh, yeah.
It's like
that
the
are
ham radios.
reasonably affordable, where it's,
Well,
I don't have to be like James Bond.
There's
There's a lot of avenues, like that radio sitting back here in the corner. That one's a very low cost entry point into the amateur radio field. I have one. I've got another.
Does it have astronaut communication capabilities?
I haven't gotten
that sounds like that's what I need.
So hopefully Santa comes by and reads my list, because I put a it's called a Garmin InReach Mini.
Oh,
right. Those
So
are
it's a like a GPS.
Yeah.
But it also it allows you to send text.
Yeah, like program text. Like
No, you just use your phone and you text.
oh,
Is Santa logged into the live feed tonight?
I don't know. I'm not watching the Instagram
Okay,
feed.
yeah. Santa, if you're listening.
And it's relatively cheap. It's like $300.
Okay.
And I think there is a yearly subscription. But
I think there's a monthly on that too. Like you
Yeah.
can do it. You can
You do
split it up
monthly
just
or-
for the trip.
yeah,
kind
you're
of
right.
thing, like
you're
for
right.
that month.
But it's it's a great way to get if you don't have ham access, this way you can talk to first responders and they can read what's going. You can send
Okay.
messages,
And that's
It's
good.
just-
So
it's a text message.
it's awesome that Jose's working that angle too. It gives us, as long as we have, the more avenues we have,
Yeah.
Yeah,
the better. And we also need to cross train. So like I need to show you guys how to use the radio in my truck, and you and I need to communicate with the profile for our other radios, because with the ham radio, you have to use it on a normal basis. You have to have your license.
Yeah, no,
If
we
it's
just-
an emergency, then it like rules are off, and you can get on it and use it as a non-licensed operator.
Yeah.
In an emergency.
Yeah, but we all need to get it's something
Yeah.
we've talked about 100 times. We just haven't pulled the trigger on it. You were the first one to do it. We all just need to get our ham license so we have it.
But for everybody to be familiar with how to operate that tool,
Yeah.
makes it so if I go down and we need to use the radio in my truck, we can.
We've already decided you do not have the option of going down. you do not have the option of being out. But you had sent me those frequencies from the ham, and I had programmed one of my radios to just monitor, so I could I turned it on in the truck, and we could monitor that frequency of where I forget where we were, in the Santa Fe or something like that. And so I had the normal radio that I was talking to everybody else on, and still being able to monitor the ham. So if something happened, I had the frequencies all programmed into the device. But I think that's a big piece of it, is understanding how to call for help when the time comes. You also had on the agenda some conversations about training. Did you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So getting trained on what to do in these situations is, an element of that Good Samaritan coverage is to be trained and know what to do. So there are different levels of training, and one that everybody can get into is just a basic first aid class. In a lot of cases, people are taking those classes through work because their employer is providing that. And there's different ways for that training to be delivered. So usually it's either going to be an in-person class, or it can even be a hybrid class where you spend some time online and then you go to class for a few hours, maybe a half day, depending on the content of the class. Mm-hmm. So there are some providers out there that are strictly 100% online class. And I caution people about a 100% online class.
Yeah, because back in my days as a lifeguard and stuff, there's enough CPR first aid stuff that you need to physically hands-on experience with that I couldn't imagine an online class could give you that.
Right. There's a lot of hands-on portion that you have to practice with supervision to ensure that you get the feedback you need if you're not doing something appropriately.
I was going to say, I think Jose knows all about online hybrids, right? Right, Jose?
No, I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Come on, dude. Inside joke.
So the different types of classes people can take are, you can take a CPR only class, a first aid only class. You can take one that covers both first aid and CPR. There's also, there's a big initiative right now with the Stop the Bleed program, with the violence that's happening in society, the shootings and stuff. Stopping the bleed is something that can prevent death. And that's the learning how to use a tourniquet and pack the wound. That's a short class. That's like a 2 or 3 hour class.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's a short thing. So focusing on what you're going to do, on what type of training you're going to take, will help you kind of channel the types of classes that are available.
So what's your suggestion though? So, let's say your average person that's not trying to be an EMT, but wants to be able to react appropriately in a situation where someone's hurt. CPR, first aid, stop the bleed.
So some CPR first aid classes will incorporate the advanced bleeding control techniques.
Okay.
Some will only cover basic bleeding control, but there's different levels, different depths of a first aid class that you can take. So you want to focus on the one that will best suit your needs. So for people who are in the four-wheel community, you want to, if you can take one that includes additional depth for taking care of limb injuries or more serious bleeding, those kind of things, then it's a good idea to take that one. If you're somebody who doesn't get out much and you just, you do your thing around town and you're not really in any outdoors, distant environments, then a traditional first aid class is appropriate, because you're going to have that 911 response that'll be there within 5 or 10 minutes, depending on conditions.
Yeah, I would think someone that's listening to this show has some level of adventure life, and whether you're camping or, even some campsites, there's, immediate support right away. But if you're camping, or off-roading, there's the chance for burns and lacerations and breaks and things like that you need to be prepared for. So I would think that advanced course would be required. Where can people go to get those courses?
So there are a number of vendors. The big two, American Heart Association, the American Red Cross. They're both very, very well-known providers. There are others like Medic First Aid or ASHI, the American Safety and Health Institute. They are both other providers that provide similar caliber to those two, the first two.
Okay.
But so if you look up any of those four, and there's some sort of class finder on their websites, and that's where you would punch in your zip code and the kind of class you're interested in, and then it would pull up either their course schedule, or in some cases it funnels you to a list of providers because with American Heart, Medic First Aid, and ASHI, they authorize other companies or individuals to teach their programs. So you would be contacting a third party who's authorized by those groups to teach their course materials.
Okay. All right, cool. And a lot of those, you and I have talked about this offline, a lot of those third parties, like you can set up a private training and get your group together, and you could set it up to where if there's an off-road club and they want to do a meeting on Tuesday, they can have a guy come in and do training on first aid and stuff at your club.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea, something to do soon. What else? You have on here? Advanced training. So what's considered advanced training, and when do we need to get to that?
So you can jump right into an advanced training course. Something like, depending on where you're at, will define the type of professional level rescuer courses. So EMR is what we call the emergency medical responder, and this is more of a respond to the scene, treat the patient at the scene, and then hand it off to another provider who would transport them to the hospital.
Okay.
So that's give or take 40 to 60 hours, depending on where you're at. That training that certification level is not available in California.
Really?
Yeah, it's our baseline level in California is EMT.
Oh,
so EMT is the emergency medical technician training. That's about 160 hours. It's in the community college. It's about a semester.
okay.
You can get it in little as 9 weeks. You can do it over 16 weeks. And there's community colleges, there's private institutes, there's a number of resources in LA and Orange and Riverside and San Bernardino counties. So we've got a lot to offer there. The other one is wilderness training. So there's wilderness first aid training. And there's two groups that are kind of at the front of that. It's NOLS and then the Wilderness Medical Associates.
So NOLS, NOLS?
Yeah. They both have good websites. So I have decent experience, but I'm actually looking at taking the NOLS Wilderness EMT upgrade to expand my skills. I'm hoping to do that in the early portion of the summer.
Do you need an EMT before you do NOLS?
No, NOLS actually offers wilderness first aid. So
Okay.
you can just be a wilderness enthusiast and take the NOLS class, the wilderness first aid class.
What would be the difference between your American Red Cross EMT, first aid course versus the NOLS course?
Well, NOLS is looking at the outback, on the trail, in places where you're not going to have easy access to 911.
Okay, so that makes sense. So more sustained. You're now having to sustain someone for hours because it's not just a quick stop the bleed and then wait for the ambulance. It's okay. Now you have to sustain someone and then transport someone, and you have twigs and duct tape at your disposal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I've actually been on rescues when I was working for the fire department where we had to hike out to get to the patient, and I mean there's a lot of equipment that has to be carried out there, and it's a pretty significant effort.
Cody, what would you do with those twigs and duct tape?
Oh, dude,
In what scenario?
Wrap them around his
No,
Achilles.
well, how many? Whoa! How many?
How would that help you?
So how many twigs do I have, and how much duct tape?
As many twigs
talking
as you
about your
want.
legs?
So-
and you have 1.5 rolls of duct tape. The old school
Yeah,
gray,
the good gray
with
stuff, not the venture
good
tape.
stuff. The 200-mile-an-hour NASCAR
Yeah,
tape.
because the new venture tape, duct tape.
No, that
sucks.
come on.
It
You're
only
trying to
sticks to
survive.
itself.
We're not
Yeah,
trying to.
no, we're
hussy up,
talking, silver,
Yeah.
thick, sticks forever duct tape.
Yeah, exactly.
I would use
Something
those.
that would actually probably help you survive.
I could use those twigs to create first to create a splint on the person's broken Achilles. And then,
we're going to kill him. Okay,
And-
so you're going to go from personal experience,
and
tell us how.
And then, if we had enough twigs, we could string them all together if they were big enough, and then use duct tape as webbing to create a stretcher so that you and Jose could carry him out. You and Jose could carry me out.
Yeah, I was gonna say him. You mean you? Okay.
Hey, I know we're. I don't want to bring the show down, but I know we're like laughing about.
Do
this. I'm gonna bring it down though. Unfortunately, this past weekend, one of the search and rescue members from San Bernardino SAR, he I don't know, passed away.
Yeah. So Tim Staples.
He got separated from his rescue partner, and dude, they found him. It was, I guess, he froze to death out there.
What? That's how he passed.
So
I'm assuming. I don't know what happened.
What I saw in the news was that he was separated from his partner. Don't know how, know why. and he was found at the bottom of some sort of ice
Oh,
chute
okay.
where he had fallen. I'm not really in the know on this. I've seen the news stories, but Mr. Staples was a teacher and coach at Damien High School, and he also taught at St. Lucy's High School, where my daughter goes. And they canceled today's game, the soccer game for the girls, so they could participate in a prayer service for him. And actually, that's what freed me up to come to the show tonight. So yes, our thoughts and hearts and prayers go out to Mr. Staples and his family.
And the point is, I mean, he's a trained professional.
That's exactly what I was going to say. And like the point I was trying to get across was even trained professionals can fall victim to,
the
to real
circumstances and the injuries. Yeah.
So I'm like,
and he's a volunteer. He's not
Right.
He's not a paid guy.
No.
Which I mean doesn't he's doing it out of his free time. He's committed to doing this. And yeah, I mean that's where that whole scene safety piece really is at the forefront. When you get there, you have to size up the scene and make sure it's safe so you don't get hurt. He was working in a very
they were in Baldy, right?
yeah, they were
Joe, you just coughed right on me. Like right on me. I mean, I know we're telling like a horrible story here, but
it wasn't in your mic.
What kind of trail medic is that? You're not on the trail, so you don't have any.
He's trying to give you the antibodies that he's built up.
Oh my God.
Sharing.
I don't want those. I'd rather keep your antibodies away from me. All your bodies.
Yeah, so scene safety is huge. We have to make sure we're safe and we don't become part of the need for rescue.
Yeah, and how do you? I mean, who knows? I'm sure there's going to be plenty of search investigations, but I mean, getting separated from your partner, that seems pretty significant. Like if one of them slips and falls, and the other one.
Yeah, but we don't know what kind of conditions they were working in.
No. They split up to go try to. Yeah.
So I mean, that's why it's huge to always be in contact with your team, right? So we take those steps, and we all have a radio with us.
Yeah.
So that's huge, and keeping track of everybody. Designate who's the tail gunner, who's the lead.
Yep.
And how we're
my
checking.
first time podcasting.
Joe, stop trying to karate chop my microphone.
Punching
What's
Matt's
going on
mic.
over here?
I think I may get relegated back to
video
Justin's-
chat.
back to his room.
So that's important, like the communication. So I think we told the story last year, but I had asked for some Bofang radios for Christmas and ended up with 9 Bofang radios for Christmas. And at first I was like, oh, that's crazy. I'll just maybe return some, but I kept them all, programmed them all to the same frequency. So whenever we go wheeling with someone that doesn't have a radio, I hand those things out,
huge.
and
It's a huge
everybody
game
can
changer,
communicate, and it's a big deal. Back in the day we had CBs, and a couple of us had CBs, but there was always a point where you had to stick your head out the window and yell at someone, "This is where we're going." Having those radios, and I mean they're not expensive. Those Bofang UV5Rs. From Amazon are $40 or something like that. I mean,
Right.
If everybody had them and just program them to the family radio frequencies, because everybody's got those, that's a huge thing. And if someone got separated from our group, there would be someone on one of those frequencies where you could say, "Hey, man, I'm stuck in a hole."
Right. So I actually have one of the Bofangs also.
Yeah.
But the ones what I use with the crew on our trail runs are my little Midland extreme talkers. I leave those dedicated for the team.
Yeah.
And then my Bofang actually has the FRS frequencies in it also, but it also has all the ham stuff. And what I do is before we go out, I always make sure that wherever we're going,
You get the repeater.
I have those repeaters programmed in. So whether it's on the 2 meter or the 70 centimeter, that I have that coverage. And as we're going along, I'm every so often checking to see if I'm hitting this repeater, and if I'm not, then I switch over. And I have the appropriate simplex frequencies programmed in. So that's the direct call. So the day we were up at Cleghorn, I don't know if I told you, but I was talking to a guy that was on the other end of Lancaster, and that was direct radio to radio. So that was pretty awesome. But making sure that we're prepared with our comms is a big piece to make sure we're keeping track of each other, and it's just a good practice.
Yeah, and we've developed a pretty good, like a normal operating procedure, right? So I'm usually in front, Jose's usually in back. There's plenty of communication going between, he's always stop smiling, like 12. there's always a good communication throughout the train.
No, that last trail run we did with that snow, dude, that really opened my eyes to the communication part of it.
Yeah,
because it was so big, right? Like I just had to keep relaying, and I was in the back. I had to just keep relaying, like, yeah, there's 3 cars that didn't. We made the turn, like, okay, tail gunner made the turn, like, because the guy in the front doesn't know. He's probably like a mile out sometimes.
Yeah. Well, how many rigs were on that?
15.
15, I think. Yeah, it was quite a bit. The Mojave Trail. When we did the Mojave Trail, there was 12 of us, and we got spread out at times, but everybody had communication. Speaking of trail runs, I'm trying to pull this up right now. We talked about how many people were going. So one of the reasons that we limit the amount of vehicles that are going on an individual trip is because of that, because you got so much communication going on. But we are doing a trip in the next couple weeks. We are going. I don't have this set up correctly, so I'll have to set this up. So I'm not going to announce it on the live feed. So we're going on a trip December 26th through the 28th, where we are going to go down to Anza Borrego. I will set up a spot on the website where you can register for that if you're interested. We have a handful of people already scheduled to go. We're going to limit the amount of people we can take depending on how many of those other people that have already committed or actually come through. But you can go to trailchasers.net. On the front page, I will put a button to register for the winter expedition. It's the 2019 winter expedition. Again, we're leaving December 26th, which is the day after Christmas, heading down to the Ocotillo Wells, Anza Borrego area. Surprisingly, we don't have a full trail mapped out yet. Jose hasn't figured it out yet. But we did talk about it yesterday. Matt, Jose, and I were talking about it yesterday, trying to figure it out. I think we have a really good idea of where we're going to go. But if you are listening and you're interested in joining us on that, you can go to trailchasers.net, and we will have a button there. And it looks like the live feed just ended. So, Joe, thank you for coming on and doing the Trail Medic segment. It's the most informative part of our show. We need you here, so I appreciate it. Do you know what you're going to do in the next segment?
Well, we kind of touched on it today, so it was scene safety.
Okay.
But I'll figure something else out to fill that block. But in addition to that, I really want to talk about the stop bleeding or bleeding control. That's a pretty big one. And we'll talk about the different ways to control bleeding and places that you can go to look for training for that. And then we'll go from there.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, man. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. We'll catch you on the next one.
Yes, sir.
You're listening to a 4x4 Radio Network podcast.
The Trail Chasers podcast is a member of the 4x4 Radio Network. If you want more off-road shenanigans in your ear holes, go to 4x4radionetwork.com to hear episodes of the Jeep Talk Show, the 4x4 podcast, the Center Steer podcast, and On the Trail with Kevin and Scott. All right, as we discussed last week on the show, we did have a bunch of Man on the Streets recordings that Matt and Jose did from the Shred and Shred event, and I started listening to them today. I didn't get to finish them, so I think there's
It hurt your feelings?
No, I got to the hot dog broth part, which was hilarious. I'm in here laughing at you guys making fun of me. Matt, my brother-in-law, is ripping on me in these upcoming audio files.
Man, yeah, I mean, I always rip on you.
Yeah,
but is it that bad? I don't remember.
Probably because you went and visited the tequila.
I know.
So we're gonna start with the first one. This is where you go talk to your renegade buddy, and then this one goes on for a while. So we'll hit stop when we need to talk about it. You're now recording.
So we're recording right now.
Let's put this in your pocket.
Whoa! Look at that. You're a full service
assistant here. I would be good. Tammy and I had a conversation at dinner last night. and I was explaining to her how I really believe that I could be a house husband.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
am so down.
You would have
with house husbandry.
You would have all the chores like in a chart, like daily.
I've been
You're
doing
super-
dishes.
you're
I've been
pumped
cleaning
about
the
it.
house. I am excited about it. House husbandry is for me, man.
That has not changed, by the way.
So, what's your attire as a house husband when you're walking around?
It depends. It really depends. If the blinds are closed,
No,
if the blinds are closed, I'm wearing a pair of Tail Chaser boxer briefs that you can buy on the Trail Chaser shop.
That's tail chaser.
Trailchasers.net/shop. But typically it's a Trail Chaser shirt and hat and some jeans or shorts.
All right.
How would you like to come over to my house and be a house husband for me and Monty?
I don't come cheap.
Hey, oh,
I have certain.
so the live the Instagram feed, they're not able to hear.
They should be able to hear that.
Joe, can you hear it?
Yeah, they should be able to hear that. It's being fed out the mixing board to that phone.
Oh, okay. Man, you're like
There's a lot
Like a
of
wizard.
four post
Four pole wires.
wire connections here.
okay.
certain needs that need to be.
You're not
taken care of.
a free.
No, this is not a free service. Dude, look at me. You don't get this for free.
Not even me.
No,
Oh,
no.
wow,
There's
okay.
there's a
All right. So,
there's a price to pay.
oh man, what a price that probably is.
I'm
I don't
sure.
want to think
I'm
about
sure
it.
we could-
Poor Tammy, what she
I
has.
know.
You're absolutely right to be pitiful for my wife. She gets the brunt of it. I'm sorry, dear.
Absolutely.
So I think me and Jose are going to go talk to this renegade, this
All right,
guy
go.
with the
Do
renegade.
it.
What was his name? Okay, let's go find out, Jose. Jose, you want to go?
Did you take the little receiver?
Yeah, I got it, dude.
Oh. We're hot
already-
mics. Hot mics.
Here, yes. Okay, so Jose, we're hot right now.
Yep.
I think the event's been going, about a half hour or so, right?
Yeah, just
Roughly?
a little bit over half an hour.
I don't think it's fair that we're having this event at a Toyota dealership, because that's what it looks like. We're walking down. There's probably 40 vehicles here, and 38 of them are Toyota.
What's funny is this is not a Toyota dealership.
Oh, it's not.
No, it's
No.
the O'Neill commercial headquarters. It's not a headquarters, right?
It is. I think it is headquarters.
It is? Okay,
It is
we're at
HQ.
the- All right.
So,
yeah,
but-
one could easily be confused that you're in a Toyota dealership.
but one vehicle stuck out, and
Yeah.
that was this Renegade up here.
Yep.
Let's ask. Here we go. This is how we do it. I'm sorry, sir. What's your name?
David Gonzalez.
David Gonzalez. There's a microphone. Just dude.
So when you walked up to him, you just like, hey, dude, here's a microphone.
Yeah, that's
That's how you do it.
That's
That's,
the move.
that
That's
is
what I'm
the
saying.
move. You got to come in hot. You got to come in recording, and that way they're like you stun them. It's called I call it the stunner. You come in there.
That's what I'm
Stone
saying.
Cold?
The
Cold?
the original Matt move was chase him around with a microphone because we only had one.
No,
Now
it
that
was the original.
I told
Matt
you I've been
move
working on my footwork.
would be like, excuse me, sir. We're with the Trail Chasers podcast. Do you have a moment to talk to us about your product or about your vehicle? And they're like, no.
Yeah,
And we got rejected too many times.
yeah. No, you got to come in.
so it reminded you of high school.
Oh no, currently.
Oh yeah. I just figured that's life.
a day
That's
in
my
the
life.
life.
That's my
Day
lot
in
in
the
life.
life.
Exactly.
No, but then we just say, you know what, man? Let's just go up to him as we're recording, and don't give him an option.
It seems to have worked.
Renegade. He was game.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
this guy.
Dave.
That's right, Dave.
David.
He was definitely willing and able. He was excited to talk about his Renegade. Favorite vehicle here by far. I mean, there's other cool rigs here, but this Renegade is awesome. And as everybody knows, the Renegade, that was I broke my cherry with a Renegade. So
We love the Renegade.
it's a big cherry.
Is that why the Renegade is red?
It was white at
It was
one
a white
point.
Renegade.
Oh, come on, guys.
So much. We're going to go back to the Mojave Trail and put up a sign that says the Renegade Highway.
So Why don't you tell us about it? What you clearly have you've done a lot more to yours than I've done with my wife's. What do you got going on?
As
Sounded
far as
dirty.
Suspension and all that type of stuff underneath, it's stock. But I do have a lift kit. It's at home. I just haven't put it on yet. I am going to get an ABOC spring kit as well. So combination of the two and maybe get 3 inches. So
Wow.
get a little more ground clearance and then
Everybody's
upgrade.
looking for more inches, man.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, I need it.
Never
yeah.
have enough.
That rear transfer case is not cheap. But upgrading the tires pretty soon.
Can I recommend Nexon tires? Yeah, Nexon. They're money. I'm sorry. What was that, Jose?
They work well in the snow.
They do. I can attest to that. Just for even though you got Wild Peaks, you got our previous brand, but that's cool. What kind of lift do you have at home?
It's a rough country.
Oh,
2-inch.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
There's not that many lift kits available for this
No,
vehicle.
I
And
went
if
with
there
the-
is, it's Chinese, and I don't really
You
want
have something against the Chinese?
No, nothing at all. It's just I don't want to be.
No, that's fine. This is
middle of
America.
the desert,
You can talk as much shit about China as you want.
Yeah.
F them. F 'em. They're not listening, and if they are, I don't give a shit. Like, come get some, China.
Yeah,
So,
but
China, Hammett, I'm not backing down. I'm
I'm
sorry,
very
go
brave.
on.
Yeah,
you were
good for
talking
you.
about your rough country lift. I have a Daystar on
Yeah,
on ours.
I was.
Is it the China made one? Oh man!
There's
All
some
right.
parts in there.
Still working on my mic technique.
Whoa.
But yeah, it's a daily.
Yeah, those wireless mic. That was the first time we've used those in the field like that, and they're a little bit, but we'll edit it.
driver.
Yeah.
So I do want to keep. I don't want to go exaggeration on it. I'm in the land of giants right now. There's no comparison to these other vehicles, but
You pointed at Jose. I mean, he is a pretty big guy.
yeah.
The land of giants.
But yeah, just try to make the
We're-
vehicle as close to.
Lilliputian in comparison. Dude, that's a drop.
So what Lilliputian in
Yeah.
what is that? What's that
Really?
drop?
Google that mess.
Gulliver's Travels.
That's right. Thank you. Look at Jose dropping knowledge.
I am dumb.
Thank
He's
you.
the smart one.
No, I just know random shit that I
Yeah.
shouldn't know.
That's pretty random.
That sounds like a book that I was probably supposed to read when I was younger, and I didn't.
There's like cartoon movies about the Gulliver's
I've
Travels.
heard of Gulliver's Travels. I couldn't.
I think there's actual
There's a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't
right.
know any of the comments there.
Oh man. So anyhow, daily driver. You don't drive around with the. What do you have like up in your? You have a rack. He has a bitchin' rack up on top, and you have these your travel cases or whatever. Is that just like camping gear that you have in there?
It's mainly camping gear. I do ride with it on a daily because I'm too lazy to take it off.
That was going to be my next question.
But,
do you really just wheel around with all that extra weight and
Yeah,
stuff?
it's I would say about 400 pounds extra.
Dude!
It's a lot. But
That's like me and Jose combined.
yeah.
I know. I just,
When I listened to this earlier, I was all, that math doesn't work out.
That's some quick quick math. Did the math really quick in my head. I'm like, I think we lost some weight on that calculation.
Yeah.
Very cool. What year is this?
2017.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is newer than my wife and I. And where have you? Clearly, you've taken it out and you've done some wheeling.
Yeah, I've gone to a lot of stuff in San Diego, to Anza Borrego.
Oh yeah,
a lot of that stuff.
yeah. We just did that last year. I did it in the Renegade. That was like one of the last trips I did.
Yeah, I try to take it as easy as possible until I do get the other modifications put in. I've gone to Big Bear a couple times, but haven't really hit like major trails. Just go have fun, camp for a day or two, and that's about it. But
Well-
yeah, I do want to get some more modifications like a bumper, but as well, not a lot of companies at all. Yeah, there is a company.
Oh, okay. Is there a company that makes bumpers?
Yeah, there's a company. It's Avid Essentials.
Yeah, I looked at those Avid Essentials when he had his Renegade, and they're really nice. I mean, they're really solid. Matter of fact, we should reach out to them, get them on the show because we're a Renegade positive show.
It's a renegade safe sanctuary here.
Renegade Safe. It's a Renegade Safe show.
And they make pretty good stuff. It's just they're so far away, and I like to deal with a company that's on a face-to-face type of thing.
Yeah, especially if you're gonna drop all that money. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. That's why
That guy's really limiting.
Because I see a lot of renegades. You know,
Yeah.
in stock.
I like to deal with a face-to-face thing. I own like a Renegade where there's only
It's
4
limited.
things to worldwide,
Yeah.
and I just want to deal with them face-to-face.
Yeah.
and they take them up. I have an Instagram account for us for SoCal, and a lot of people are interested. You know, and
Yeah.
you got to protect your investment. So
This is you're talking about like protecting investments and kind of like taking care of things, quality made stuff. These are all foreign concepts to me. I just basically I expect things to break or cuz I'm pretty hard on things, but
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
to reiterate, I expect to break things.
Mm-hmm. Didn't my sister just have something done to her back?
Jose seen me in the Renegade. I was hard on that little thing too, and it's I have no complaints about it. In a lot of ways, you know, I love my truck, but the Renegade is in some ways funner to wheel in.
Yeah,
because you have to, you know, you got to pick routes. You really have to pay attention to the terrain. But it's also really nimble, and you know, you could really get into some tight spaces with that thing. So,
definitely.
well, right on, man. Thanks for talking to us. Way to go! I totally dig this thing. I think it's awesome. What's your social media? You know, your Instagram or maybe a Twitter. I can yell at you and just throw some curse words your way.
Matt just started a new Twitter account. What is it, Matt or Trail Chaser Matt?
It's Trail Chaser Matt, and you know, feel free because I realize that, you know, I'm the one. I can accept the brunt of abuse, so I'll take the.
Well, I think part of that is because you give the most abuse. Like you are the jaded one in the group here.
Yeah, no,
Now
I'll
that
put it- bring
now
it.
that the handle's out like on the episode, I just can't wait to see what kind of
Oh,
messages
this
he's
is
gonna
gonna,
get.
everybody wreck
Nothing.
Trail Chaser
There's gonna be
Matt.
nothing.
No, there's not going to be anything.
I'll take that on, and you guys cuss me out or just you know, if you're having a really hold on, I know we were just gonna let me go on a rant really quick here. You know, you have those days where you're just really upset and you had to sit in traffic for 3 freaking hours and you're pretty bummed out. But when you get home, jump on that Twitter and just
and yell at Matt.
That's right. Take it all out. Take it out on me. I'm telling you. So anyhow, did you have any a Twitter or?
Yeah, I've got a personal and for the group page, it's SoCal.renegades on Instagram. Okay. And then my personal is just Grizzly Exploits. Yeah, you can find me there. We do little get-togethers with our little Jeep Renegades. We welcome any type of vehicles because we know we might need the help. We know. I know. I always try to get a buddy.
That's right. Okay.
But thank you guys for the invitation and for talking with me.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thanks, man. All right, Jose.
All right, we're back.
Back in black.
That was the last song that played.
Was it? Yeah, I thought so. And so back going down Toyota Row.
The best one's at the end of this road. Though.
That's what I'm talking about. The unicorn. It's odd, like it's almost like, dude, people realize Nissan makes trucks too, right? You know.
Well, see, that's what's crazy. Like, I can't believe you don't see more like lifted like Frontiers and stuff because it's like a great bang for your buck truck.
Yeah. So speaking of which, there it is. There she is. Okay, so we're back. Maybe we can talk to a couple of these vendors while we're out and about and we're recording.
I think this is where we're going to start talking shit about.
Yeah, this.
Cody.
We're about to go.
Yeah, you're about to go. Yeah, I know.
It's about to get good. There's Marvin with Beyond Wraps. He seems to be busy. We can interview Dave.
ZR2 Dave.
Yeah. We can wait until he's
free.
done.
I love that Dave has a last name. We've never once called him by his last name. It's either Trail Adventures Dave
Yeah.
or ZR2 Dave.
Busy right now.
I think Dave is his last name. ZR2 is his first name.
I know. I'm gonna say it again. I kind of want to interview that guy in the Ford Ranger.
Do you know who?
No,
wheeled
I
that?
don't know who. I don't know who drives it, but it's a pretty nice Ranger.
Dude, I
can edit
love
that
the
out, dude.
Color,
The color
wrap-
scheme, right?
Color scheme is bitchin'. That is eye catching.
For sure.
So, because this is an audio format, let's describe.
Real quick, Dave just joined the live feed.
I know. That's great.
We just finished talking about Dave, and he's going to have to listen next week to figure out what we said.
Yep.
It
That
looks-
amazing color wrap.
Yeah, I mean, you guys see it, right? Yeah. No, it looks like a 80s
know what?
race truck.
It does. It has that like a kind of a neat, like a Nissan. The angled. I'm gonna call them scallops or
Like beams of
stripes.
light
Beams of light coming. Ooh.
coming
Beams
out of the
of
wheel
light
well.
emanating from the front wheel well. You know, and you have so it's like a
Red.
baby blue hood
Yep.
with blue, red, and yellow stripes coming out.
It's like a-
and then like a
it's a-
white back end with
Beautiful description. I can see it in my eyes, in like my mind.
Yeah, it's a really
What a
it's-
wonderful, vivid, accurate description of this truck.
Not only because you described it so well, but it's a good color combo.
Yeah, no, it's a super cool truck, and it's Rory from the Trigger
Yeah, you're triggering me right now.
Trigger Company. Yeah, it's a really nice Ranger.
with you know,
Yeah, it's cool.
Stickers.
It's an awesome color scheme.
so you got a lot of
It's a cool
stickers
wrap.
on that.
A lot of nice stickers, especially that KC headlight.
KC headlight right on
Watch
the
out!
side.
Watch out! There's a car.
So okay, thank you for saving me.
I just saved your life, dude.
woo again.
Again.
Save me again. All right. Well, let's go over.
That Sprinter van over there is pretty awesome, dude.
Yeah, can we? Who
go
can we
take
talk
a-
to about that?
All right.
Hey, it's more than a feeling.
Man, that DJ was on point that day.
This is like one of those songs you feel like, oh yeah, I know all the words to this
Whoa.
song, and then
No, that's the
you
only.
know what? I
that's
don't.
Yeah. You're like,
You know
I
what?
love this song. Oh yeah.
I
Oh
love
yeah.
it. It's
Sing
great.
it. Sing it.
Nope. That's it. Okay, so here's this.
So it's a Mercedes van. Sprinter
Yeah, it's
van.
like a lifted Sprinter van. You know, like Adventure Rigs. We've seen these guys before. haven't
Yeah,
we? Adventure Rigs.
dude. It's on 35s.
Yeah. Nice.
That's great. I mean, it's a nice beige color, right?
Yeah, you know, like a earthy tones, earth tones. Dude, look at that rack up top. How would you even get up there? Is there a ladder in the back?
So there was no
There's no ladder.
There's a rack up on top of this van. The top of the van is at least 10 feet up.
Yeah,
At least 10 feet up. So either they had like a ladder inside of it because the thing was tinted up, and I think we started talking about
Paul
like
McCartney?
celebrities riding
Yeah.
around in this
Yeah.
thing. So we couldn't see inside to see if there was a ladder, but you ain't getting nothing like Michael Jordan's probably putting stuff up there, and maybe Kobe Bryant. That's about it.
So this thing's the roof is probably 10 feet in the air,
There's no ladder back
and
here.
there's no ladder. I don't know how you would get
You
anything.
gotta use your
on
Inspector
that.
Gadget shoes. No,
Do they?
Inspector Gadget shoes, Jose.
no.
That's a good pull. No,
Yeah.
I'm impressed. That's
Go
Go-Go
gadget,
Gadget shoes.
legs.
yeah, I'm down. I like Inspector
those?
Gadget.
Hey, they're not all nuggets, yet. all right?
Not yet. But regardless, this thing looks pretty capable.
This is like the ultimate, like, if you want to go out for like a fire road and camp for a little bit, like, dude, this is the ultimate. You can't do trails in this thing, dude. Like, you could have done, you could do like probably Pioneer Town too, Big Bear.
Yeah.
When it's not
Yeah.
all snowy and
But
stuff.
yeah, you're not taking the little offshoots or anything like
No.
that. But you could do it.
And we've talked about that on those adventure vans. I mean,
Yeah.
those adventure rigs are awesome, but
It's like
it
the
depen-
ultimate
it-
off-road luxury.
Yeah, it depends on what you're going to do with them, right? I mean, it's.
But my thing is, you spend all that money and it's not that capable.
Again, it goes
but again,
back
I
to
don't
what
know.
you're trying to do with it, right? If you're just trying to cross the Mojave in style and spend,
That's like a perfect Mojave.
yeah,
road.
oh yeah, that's a Mojave road. That's a Mojave road trip for a week because
sure.
you get to go up all the little chutes and go to the caves and do all that stuff, and you never have to worry about comfort or nothing.
Look, Adventure Rigs, I didn't say that. That was Jose. If you want me to, look, I just realized I'm now advertising on my belly. So I'm selling belly space now that we're live.
The nipples extra.
Oh, well, I mean, there's plenty. I mean, I could be like NASCAR. I could probably have like 15 different sponsors. But right now, I found this Arctic sticker on the table here. So I'm going to, like, as a show, free advertising for Arctic thermoses and such. So Adventure Rigs. Was that Adventure Rigs?
Yeah.
There's plenty of room across my gut. Like, we could put one of your stickers
You
there.
could put a whole one of those Mercedes Sprinter vans right across.
Yeah, the whole van.
No, and I'm seriously, I don't know. Like, I don't know what the capabilities of those vans are. What do I know? Maybe they are off-road capable, but just, to me, they're a little just high-centered. That's what it looks like, and you wouldn't want to...
Well, and you're going to be limited size-wise of where some places you can go, but
10 feet tall.
Yeah, but I would try. Given the opportunity, if I had one, I'd try to take it out and see what happens.
If you were in financing and they're like, you know what, put this thing through its paces.
Yeah, if I got the chance, I would love the opportunity to test drive one, like in real world Mojave, Big Bear, Pioneer Town.
Yeah,
just to see and
you get one of those. I'll get Tesla's Cybertruck. And Jose, I don't know. You go ahead and get something too for the Mojave.
I don't know what I would get.
Get that other electric. The
Lance Camper. We'll get a hold of someone at Lance Camper and get their F350 with the
Go Fast campers.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's see what else you guys talk about. I don't think I want to listen to the rest of it.
But I may be wrong, dude. I don't know. I'm assuming because it's so top heavy.
This is something like.
I'm also very top heavy.
That one time we brought up Pioneer Town and Cody had
nickname
said
in
that Paul
college?
McCartney did a surprise show there.
Yeah,
I'm so pissed off.
As
I
we
think
drove
about
by
that
it, like at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Like there's Pioneer Town, but we don't have time to stop.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, Paul McCartney
Paul
comes
McCartney
in here
was
now
here.
and then.
But this rig seems like this is what Paul McCartney would wheel out to Pioneer Town.
Yeah.
Like, get him in that. I mean,
all the
adventure
windows
rig.
are all blacked out, like limo
Yeah.
tint. Like, you can't see anything inside.
Exact. Hey, how do we know he's not in there right now?
He's just waiting for someone to say his name.
Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney.
It's like the Candyman,
He didn't come out, dude.
No.
Exactly. That's why I said it 3 times, dude. That's exactly right. All right.
Hey, what do you think about Linexing? Like,
The sides, like.
I mean, that's a 100% lifelong commitment. 'Cause that thing ain't coming off, dude.
No,
You can't
but
sand that off or anything.
How are you going to see like your racing stripes? Your
That's true.
field applied racing stripes.
Your desert pinstripe.
Your desert pinstripes. If you have the Rhino liner,
It's cool because like you don't have to worry about it, right? Like you could be even more. Imagine you even more reckless out on the trail.
Can you?
Yeah, line next to your truck.
Oh, Jesus. I'm kind of past that now. That first weekend we took my truck to Cleghorn. I was all mad at Cody because he drives like a maniac too. And then ever since then, it's like, man, I don't even. Whatever. Yeah, whatever. You just go over things. You hear.
Yeah, that's all right. It'll be all right.
Once you get back on the road, hopefully it still steers straight.
There's no lights coming on the dash, or it's driving straight. You're good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Even with the dash lights, you just cover them up.
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Oh, we got Cody. He's emceeing.
He sounds so professional.
He said we, like he's going to get on the grill.
I hope he's not cooking. Because you know what? I've been to his house, obviously. Mm-hmm. And even hot dogs. He screwed. I don't know how you F up hot dogs.
You got to take them out of the wrapper and then boil them.
Tell him. Yeah. Tell him, man. And you know what? He's going to love this, but screw it. He always goes and buys like the most expensive, like. Oh, no. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, we are. We are making fun of you. You know, I bet you I know what you're gonna say about
that?
he goes out and buys the most organic,
Yes,
grass-fed
expensive. Yes.
hot dog, real
With apples in them and shit like that. Like apple oregano.
aged cheddar.
Yeah. Like, what the F? And then just completely F's them up. It's like, you know, a girl's pretty simple, right? It's just a
Hey, dude,
hot...
just give me the old fashioned.
just,
Dude,
you
literally,
turn them over
dude,
a
even
little-
easier
once
than
in a
that.
while.
You get a pot, you put water in it,
Go on.
and then you put. Well, you got to unwrap the weenies, and then just throw it in there,
Okay, so Cody,
and the hot
make
dogs.
sure to unwrap your weenies before. Dude, I'm telling you what, I ain't boiling hot dogs.
Hey,
You're
dude,
crazy.
man, that's a Mexican thing.
Is that a Mexican thing?
Yeah, dude. I mean, or a poor thing. I'm both.
You don't like make use of the hot dog juice, do you? Like,
Oh, well, that's the
do you drink
that's
that
the
or
broth. That you,
hot dog broth. Hot dog broth. That's
you gotta coin that.
no.
Okay, no one take that.
Hashtag that's me.
Yeah.
You can't. Coined by Matt LLC Travels. Whatever. Trail
Hashtag
Chaser.
hot dog broth.
Hot dog broth. That sounds so disgusting.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it.
You know what? You're right. You're right. My bad. Oh no! What's he doing? He's going through my truck now.
Yeah, it's like if it was his truck. Oh yeah, sorry guys. Yeah, I'll show you everything in this truck.
Yeah, dude, it's like filthy. I wish I had known. Maybe I would have washed all the mud and shit off.
For what, dude?
That's true. It looks better with the mud on it.
For sure.
Okay.
Let's go back to the orange room and let's reset over here, and we'll be back on the wireless mics.
10-4. Roger, over and out.
Screw you guys.
That was awesome.
I hate barbecuing. I hate barbecuing for other people.
Obviously,
I'm not good at it.
no. No one in your family. I don't know about Casey. I don't know if he's cooked anything, but your dad's horrible. Your dad is horrible. One time, I saw him struggling with hamburgers. You only need to flip hamburgers one time. That's it. But he kept going and like, dude, you gotta let it cook. And finally I asked, like, oh, do you need some help? And he gladly, like, oh, there you go. Looks like you know how to eat them. That's what he said to me. I didn't fight him on that because that's obvious. And then I just took over from there.
Anytime, like pool parties or whatever, and I got a barbecue, if someone comes over and offers their help, absolutely. I hate barbecuing for other people. I'm not good at it. I'm always like worried about overcooking, undercooking, because for me, I don't even care. Like, it's been on the grill for 2 minutes. It's good enough. I'm going to eat it. If it bleeds, I don't even
that's
care.
Salmonella, dude.
I don't care. I don't care.
You like
here's
it
some
still
chicken
moving
with,
or what?
Yeah, with a side of salmonella.
I don't
coming
care.
right up.
I don't care. Everybody else. So that was when you guys tried to talk trash about me. Did you get me more on the next one? There's another recording that's shorter. This is the tequila. This is the tequila tasting recording. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Check. Oh, it got weird on this one a little bit. We are recording.
Jose, you want to put the in your?
Yeah, I'll hold it.
Well, yeah, we were starting to drink tequila, so.
All right. So we're back. Walking in front of speakers. All right, man. We're gonna go talk to some vendors.
Specifically one, right?
Well, we're gonna stop by one first.
Are we gonna take a test drink here?
I intend to. So, I was here earlier. Pretty sure you remember. So we're actually doing a podcast. We have a podcast. This is Jose. My name is Matt. We're with the Trail Chaser podcast, and you are.
My name is Mara.
And you're here. What?
That was awesome. Because Matt had no idea what she just said.
She could have said any name.
Mata. Mata?
I've never heard of that.
But the pause right there.
Yeah, no. Because normally it's, oh, nice to meet you, Mata, or Jeanette, or whatever.
The pause there was indication you didn't understand.
It was like, whoop.
Dude, I didn't even heard of that name.
No.
I was just like, Mata, what is that?
Magic elixir. Are you, can I sample?
So we have two different kinds of tequila here. We have a silver and we have an extrañejo. The silver is actually a mix of cognac and tequila, which is kind of like a new thing going
Who's
on.
breathing in the mic?
Darth Vader.
It doesn't have that bitter taste
Vader was there.
tequila usually has. And our extrañejo is aged for 5 years in a French barrel that used to have cognac.
Wow. Okay. So that's how that affects the flavor. Is like the what it's. I don't know. You don't brew tequila, but what it sits in, I guess. Right? Is that what's it called? Distilled or what's the process called?
Yeah, it's distilled.
Marinates?
Okay, you're giving me a hard time about cooking. Jose's trying to marinate.
I'm trying to marinate tequila.
I've never had his tequila, so I don't know. Maybe it's good. You're the best, Jose. Sorry.
No, so yeah, the silver is distilled with cognac, and the extrañejo it just sits in the barrel for 5 years.
Beautiful bottle, and you were saying earlier, I believe they're each are hand painted.
Yes, each are hand painted by artisanal artists in Morelos, Mexico.
Wow,
Those theme, huh?
that's Day of the Dead, right?
Right.
Look at me. Okay, hey, can we try a sample?
Of course.
Awesome.
So which one are you gonna try? This one?
I'll
This
try
is
them
the
both.
This is the aged one. So all right.
Go ahead, do it, Jose.
All right. I'll take a shot on Mike here.
What do you think?
It has like so I don't know shit about tequila. It does. Yeah, it has like a smoky taste, like a caramel.
Smooth.
It's very smooth.
Wow. Very good.
Yeah, it's good.
It does have a caramel.
Where did you put the mic all of a sudden that it got so static?
You don't want to know.
Like a sweet, yes, aftertaste.
I've had enough.
She's like,
What'd she say?
I think Matt, are you gonna drink one too? She's like, no, I've had enough today. Like, it's funny because neither of those are in the tequila. No, it's caramel and vanilla. Okay, so this is the
That's the silver one.
the
right
silver.
there, yeah.
Okay.
And that one is distilled with cognac. So what they do is they get the tequila from Jalisco, they ship it over to France, and they bottle it there.
Okay. Yeah, this one's smooth too, dude.
They're both really.
Look, back in my partying days, I would make a face after I would take a shot. I didn't even make a face.
I was there, and I can vouch for that.
It was a faceless drink.
That was a faceless shot of tequila.
That's what I don't understand about alcohol is when you take a shot of that, everybody's like, "Oh, yeah." Why drink it if you're gonna make if it makes you make that
Look,
face?
if you gotta ask,
you're in the wrong scene.
Yeah, dude, you're. Come on.
That's why I don't drink. I don't like having to make that face.
Well, you got to get through the rough stuff until you get to the
That's good times.
The good times.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a
that's
barrier
how
to
good
entry.
That's how the good times are. That you're still. I'll make that face every single time.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
You're smooth.
I got a bottle full of faces.
You made a face, but it's just your regular. That's me. Your regular Jose face.
Like looking lost and.
Well, great.
This is very, dude. I don't drink this stuff anymore, but this is very good.
Why
tequila.
not? That sounds like.
Look,
is that regret in your voice, Jose?
it's not regret. It's just you want to cage the beast. You want to keep him caged.
You know what? I want to release your beast, dude.
See, that's where it got weird, dude. I was like, what? That's where it got weird.
It did. How much tequila did you sample?
Not enough. I mean, he didn't release.
His beast didn't get released.
It didn't
Still
release,
caged.
No, it's still caged.
Awesome.
No, but dude, that's literally. I'm not saying this because she's here, but this
And
is
she's
really
giving
good.
it for free.
It's free, but no,
Yeah.
this is really good tequila.
No, it is. It is. So, as far as a price range, what's the price range on these?
So the silver one goes for $40 retail, and the extrañejo goes for $160 retail.
Okay.
The reason why.
That was your response.
I was, whoa,
okay.
Yeah,
good
so
to know.
I'm never gonna drink this again.
Yeah.
That was that.
I was just talking about drinking hot dog broth a minute ago. I'll never have this again.
Yeah.
I'd rather sit there and drink my free hot dog
Hey, look,
broth.
I'm used to drinking liquor out of plastic bottles.
I think you say that next year. I think you say that here. But yeah, when I heard that, you're $160 for what?
that hand painted artistic vibe that they're giving.
No,
out.
that's ridiculous.
The extrañejo is more expensive. First of all, it's 5 years age, and it's filtered twice, which means that in the filtration process, they take out as much methanol. Anything that's going to burn, they just take it out as much as possible. And at the same time, it's going to exaggerate the flavors, like the caramel, the vanilla, all of that. To do it once, it's super expensive. They do it twice. Oh. Yeah. So no tequila on the market is filtered except for this one. That's why it's that smooth. And this was more for like after dinner with some dessert, with the cigar, to enjoy.
Do I have to do cigars?
Can I just drink it?
Yeah, can I just drink it?
Yeah, of course. You don't need a cigar. But if you do, you would enjoy it a lot, yeah.
These are those are like refined things, and I'm not a refined.
See, I'm used to the the
I'm like
plastic vodka bottles.
No, this is
On the live feed, Sergio just said that I bet Jose's party days included Mickey's Big Mouth.
yeah. That was pretty much everybody.
No, the look on his face. I responded. I said, I doubt it. He's a Cuervo guy. You didn't have any Mickey's Big Mouth.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, see, because
Mickey's. Oh,
because he's not
maybe it's-
Irish.
No, that's probably before his time. I think.
You think?
Yeah, malt liquor was like early '90s. You're talking Crazy Horse,
Yeah.
Mickey's.
Oh, like the green bottle, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I didn't know.
Maybe Hornets. You were maybe drinking.
Steel Reserve.
Oh yeah. That's next gen. That's the next gen. That's the next gen of malt liquor. Yes, but I go back to King Cobra.
Cobra? Not
I go
Cobra.
back to-
I don't even know.
The Cobra bit a couple times.
Oh, you got Cobra?
Yeah.
You got Cobra? All right. This is really amazing stuff. Thank you for your time. Can we just? Is this readily available? Like
Yeah,
at
where can we find these tequilas at?
what's the place I'm thinking of?
Bevmo or
Bevmo.
Total Wine.
Yeah.
Total Wine has it. I would think the best thing to do would be if you could Google the names. The extrañejo is called Dame Más, and the silver is called Agave. So if you could just Google it and then put shopping, it'll direct you to the closest store near you.
Got it.
Perfect.
Right. Well, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you very much. Total Wine, or as I call it, the adult like Toys R Us.
My wife's sister says totally wine.
Is that before or after she's had a few
before.
knocked back a few drinks? All right, cool. Well, thank you very much. We
you.
really appreciate it. All right, Jose.
Yeah, those are really good, dude. Honestly,
That was really smooth stuff. I could hang out at that booth all day.
Yeah, why don't we park next to them?
Exactly. We're just going to do the show. F it. We're doing it live. We're just doing it from the tequila booth.
We're all going to turn into Bill O'Reilly all of a sudden.
Yeah, probably. Sir, it's going good. What's your name?
My name is Chris.
Hey, Chris. It's Matt and Jose with the Trail Chaser podcast. You've heard of us, right?
Yeah.
I want one day. It's like when we ask him, like, "Hey, what's your name?" and he says Chris. I'm like, "Oh, hey Todd, how's it going?" Like,
Oh, dude, or like on Super Troopers when they have their contests, how many times they can say meow?
oh yeah, right now.
Oh, we should.
All right, meow.
Yeah, we should do some of that stuff on
yes.
on interviews.
All right.
He's like,
Hey,
sure.
I'm assuming that this is your truck because, and I'm also assuming that's your daughter.
It's my daughter's truck.
What does your daughter do for a living? Because this
Where
seems
can
like
I apply?
Yeah.
Eat, sleep, and poop.
That, you know what? That sounds like a living to me. You want to?
Wait a minute, that's what I'm doing now. How come I don't have that truck?
You're living it up.
You're living it up.
Tell us about your truck.
Beautiful
It's a
truck, by the way.
Thank you. It's a 2016 TRD off-road. My friends at Showstoppers USA are the ones that hooked me up with everything.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
Can I be friends with those guys too?
Yeah, they're out in Glendale. Go ahead.
Oh man, Glendale. That's kind of.
Oh, there you go, Joe.
So I see you have the alley
Oh, no,
cab
that's-
rooftop tent.
That's too far.
Yeah.
A rooftop tent is something we've
Glendale?
been going back and forth on the show. What is your honest opinion about not specifically that brand, but just the rooftop tent?
was a game changer for me. 'cause
Was
I don't
it?
like sleeping on the ground. That was my
Okay.
thing. Like, my wife likes being outdoors, and she doesn't care where she sleeps. But for me, I'm a little bit more fancier than that. So I have to be off the ground. I don't like the thought of critters or snakes or anything getting inside. So once we did that, it was like game over.
Dude, you know what?
That was the thing that sold Matt.
Critters.
What? That's it? That's the thing? Because just this weekend, Matt was like, rooftop tent, that's the route I'm going to go.
Yeah, and we're like, what?
It's because of the critters.
Yeah, this guy just reminded me, like, there's critters out in the desert. They're probably looking for someplace warm. They want to snuggle up.
Zip your tent.
Dude, obviously, I have problems with zippers. You see,
That's right.
I bought a tent for Anzaburgo last year. It's already gone. It's dust. Why? Because of zippers. I have problems with zippers.
Remember Matt just stomping around the campsite,
Well, I was-
just pissed off
Yeah,
to
but
no end.
I had to zip tie the door shut.
You missed him setting it up. I watched it all.
I was setting mine up next to him.
No, you didn't.
No, not
you
at
didn't?
Mojave.
That
No, not in Mojave. I was
Yeah.
talking about.
That was the last use. We were talking
Yeah,
about
Mojave.
throwing it in the fire.
Oh man. Okay, so let's see what else convinced you.
We've never factored that in, critters, snakes, and stuff when we
Dude,
talked about
so
rooftop tents.
when we were in the desert
and
last
now
year,
it's like,
yeah.
oh my god, dude, you might have just sold a tent.
Scorpions, bro.
Go hit him up.
Wow. So how often do you guys go wheeling, and where have you gone?
We've been to Death Valley. We went to Utah, like Zion. But we want to go deeper than that. You know what I mean? Like since we had our second kid, we can't really go anywhere for a while. So
So what you're saying is your children have ruined your dreams. Just kidding. Well, that's pretty awesome. Do you guys go wheeling often, locally or anything?
me and my friends, we go kind of local. We go to Gorman. That's about
Okay.
That's the closest like nice thing to us, or Azusa. You know, but other than that, it's like we don't really. It's hard to get everyone together. You know, so that's why I want to do stuff to my truck so I can go by myself. You know.
Yeah, you
Try
want to be
get-
totally
yeah, it's hard to get people all
self-sufficient.
together, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know what? Is this your
Well, the Instagram. There's a little Instagram
thank
logo
you. It's,
there.
I'm not very savvy when it comes to social media. But do you have some social media you'd like to promote?
Yeah, just my Instagram. It's marshmallow.taco.
Yeah, you guys should follow this page. It's a beautiful truck.
Beautiful truck. All right. Thanks again, man. I appreciate it. Listen to our podcast. I'll come back with a sticker. Oh, man. Right on. Cool. You're the guy. You're the one.
You're the one guy. Awesome. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, man.
Did you go back with a
All
sticker?
right.
No.
Nope. Good interview, right?
Cool. But yeah, that rooftop tent, dude, it's a game changer.
He's still there
Apparently,
waiting.
yeah. I mean, especially the one he has. It's literally like a 10-second. You just
Right,
open
you
it
just
up and that's
flip it open.
Flip it open.
I mean, that sounds good. You know, that
That was
sounds
a
like
sticker
something.
report. He had nice stickers on this truck.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the stickers.
So one of my favorite things in the world is handing you guys microphones and saying go do stuff, and it comes back like this. I love you guys out in the field doing that stuff.
We wouldn't have gotten hot dog broth if we didn't go out.
No.
No. Hashtag hot dog broth. We need to. There will be a hot dog broth shirt on the Trail Chasers shop soon.
Nice. Along as well as San Jacinto Frontier Sticker Club.
I'm working on that one. The logo I created I didn't like, so I'm going to come up with another one. So
Okay, it's better. You know what? It better be a Frontier with a bunch of stickers on it, at least.
yeah, I'll come up with something. But thank you guys for doing that. That was the recordings from the Shred and Tread event a couple weeks ago at the O'Neill event.
Yep.
Again, thank you to Kevin for including us in that. That was very cool. We have, like we said earlier in the Trail Medic segment, we are planning a trip to the Anza Borrego area after Christmas, the 26th through the 28th. I will put up a registration form on the trailchasers.net website tonight after I finish the live feed. So if you guys are interested in going, feel free to go on there and click.
Do you want to get lost in Anza Borrego?
A lot of U-turns.
Do you want to experience the wonder of wondering where the hell Cody's going, where he's leading you? It's pretty exciting. Get a radio. You can get in on the banter, on the good times. We got to figure out how to record that stuff.
Yeah, that's the unfiltered fun stuff.
The campfire stuff is the best.
Yeah, I'll hand you guys mics and the recorder
God,
again.
But it's also the stuff that can never be released.
Yeah, for sure. But we did this trip last year. It was really fun. We did more sightseeing than wheeling last year. We're going to switch that up and spend more time in the dirt. We don't have a definitive plan as to exactly where we're going to go. We just know it's going to be down in that area.
Of course, we don't have a definitive plan. There is. I mean,
there's more than a week left.
We got plenty of time.
I thought we were heading down to Anza-Borrego. How did we get to Vegas?
No, we'll get it figured out. It does get cold as hell, and we're 2 days.
So rooftop tent, dude. Right there. You ain't laying on the freezing ground.
Are you gonna have a rooftop tent before?
God, no. Unless somebody comes up and goes, "Here, you could have mine," and I listen to me. I just said have, so I'm not borrowing it. If you want to give me one,
no,
I'll take it.
Do not let Matt borrow your rooftop tent because you will not want it back. Let me just tell you,
no, you
will not want it back.
No, I take it. I'll borrow it.
No,
loan me your tent.
But yeah, it's rooftop tenting. It's cold. I mean, I'm sorry. It's just tent camping. It's cold. Tammy, I know for sure Tammy and Presley won't be going on this trip because it's too cold. Are you bringing the boys?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So it doesn't mean that it's not a family-friendly trip. It just usually it's too cold for the kids. And but do us a favor. If you're interested in going, go to the front page of the website. I'll have a button there to register for the trip. And we'll see. We've got a handful of people that we've invited that we wanted to come out on this specific trip. Any spots we have available, we'll send you if you register. We'll let you know if we have enough spots and let people know. Don't know exactly how many people are going to go. We're waiting for one of the companies that we've invited to give us a final count on people if they're going to come. So that's going to, like I said, we try to limit it to 15 trucks or so.
Are we waiting for Elon Musk to confirm?
Yeah, we're trying to make sure that we got a Cybertruck test vehicle for this trip.
Cool. Yeah, he can fly in on, I don't know, whatever he probably has. Think about how much shit he has that flies. Yeah. Probably
there's some hovercraft thing.
Yeah,
that
comes in out of nowhere.
All right. Well, anything else, guys?
I'm tired.
Yeah, it's tired. We got 2 hours of raw audio. I'm gonna have to clip that down because the first 20 minutes was us trying to figure out the audio feed and a bunch of dead space. But okay. Well, we again, if you're hearing this and you're interested in going to Anza-Borrego with us, go to the website. There'll be a button there. Otherwise,
what kind of wheeling would you just quickly Anza-Borrego?
Well,
just for people that may not know. Because I think this is, for four-wheeling, this is like the funnest place.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of fun. And so Ocotillo Wells, Anza-Borrego, very similar. They're in the same area. It's it's a lot of wide open desert. So there's spots that are wide open. You're just driving flat desert. But then there's a lot of
there's technical sections.
There's a lot of washes you get into, and then you can get up on top of these really technical ridges where you don't have any room either side. You're on a single track going up and down to where you're making really tight turns because there's a 50-foot wall on either side of you, and you're trying to work your way through that. There's some rocky sections. There's like I said, soft sand sections. Depending on what path we take, right now we're looking at going from the 4x4 training center down towards Superstition Mountain. That south end of the area that we didn't cover last time. And it's very fun and technical and I would say that obviously 4-wheel drive, at least 31-inch tires, if not bigger. I don't know that a locker would be required. I mean, I don't remember, depending on what we hit, but right now we don't have any large like rock crawling or steep inclines covered. Joe did the area last year in his stock JK.
I did it in the Renegade.
You did it in the Renegade. You did it when you stock Land Cruiser, right? So just a decent 4-wheel drive vehicle, probably on 31-inch tires or more, can do it. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of wide open fun area that you can wheel on. And, depending on what, there's bypasses too. There's stuff like we did that. We found that one playground area. We were going up and over the big ridge where Jose and my brother-in-law Jason
aligned their step sides.
Yeah. So Jose doesn't have to worry about that now because he's got sliders
and another 4 inches.
Yeah, and my brother-in-law apparently has suspension and sliders in his garage that he hasn't installed yet.
That's right.
But I've told him that we'll do it. He just hasn't pulled the trigger on it, so I don't know what his deal is. But it's a really fun trip. So we're going to limit the number of trucks.
I'll tell you what he doesn't trust us to do it.
Oh no, yeah,
Yeah.
no. He's super,
I don't blame him.
It's a fun trip. If you're interested, you can register on the website sometime by the time this releases, or if you're watching the live feed.
And what is describe the banter around the campfire?
Oh, it is not safe for work. Well,
Right.
You're not wrong.
The banter. Typically in the past, it's been mostly a guy trip, and the kids go to bed. The kids hit the tent early. And
go to bed, kids.
And then that's when the beverages
Daddy
come out.
and Uncle Jose want to start talking about.
That's when the beverages come out, and some conspiracy theories. And
Dude, I bought a bottle of whiskey already.
No, I'm gonna be in bed early.
Woo.
No,
oh man,
no. So that's the kind of stuff that happens on this trip. So
and I don't drink whiskey.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's going to be some. We're going to talk about the Illuminati, I'm sure.
Oh, 100%.
And the Masons, and
yeah,
dude,
dude,
you better.
Hey, yeah,
you
can't be blowing up their spot
you better,
like that, dude.
You better edit that. You
What?
better edit.
Yeah.
It's live. It's going out there in the world. They already know.
Oh,
They're
man.
watching it. They just ding. Illuminati just is tuned
All
in.
right, let's close this out.
Hey, Illuminati.
I gotta get out of here.
Hey, Illuminati, we're done for the night. We're going to close out the live feed. But yeah, website. There'll be a button there. Join if you want to, and we'll let you know if we got enough spots to let people in. But all right, everybody. Anything else? Joe, anything from the
peanut gallery?
The mic's not on.
Maybe
You
turn on the mic and
press
then,
the button and turn the mic on.
There you go.
I remember my first podcast.
This is definitely an interesting perspective.
Oh yeah, sitting on the casting couch watching us do our thing. Don't worry, we're coming for you next.
What exactly is he casting for?
The trail medic spot.
Is there another
I thought
option?
it was mine.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
Next week, we try out a different trail medic.
Yeah.
Tail,
All right.
Tail medic.
The tail medic.
Oh.
On that note, everybody, have a good night. We'd like to thank Nexen Tire for their support. We've been extremely impressed with the Rodian MTX tires, and we are excited about what the future holds for Nexen. If you want to be part of this growing community, please go to nexentireusa.com and check out their complete line of tires for your rig.
We would love to hear your feedback. Please go to trailchasers.net/contact and drop us a line or leave us a voicemail at 951-39
You can stay up to date with all our shenanigans by going to trailchasers.net/register and signing up for our newsletter, or follow us on Instagram at The Trail Chasers.
Do you want us to talk about you on the show? Best way to do it is leave us a review on iTunes.
And thanks again to Ryan Torigno for all the music on the show. You can find him at ryantorigno.com.